At long last, allow me to show you the power of Super Saiyan 4!
Yo, what's up guys, Raccoon here with another Dragonball Legends video. We are now exactly 2 weeks away before the reveal for the anniversary characters. So I think next week we're gonna get a free-to-play I don't think we're gonna get anything big. And then next week is the reveal for anniversary. So I'm gonna do now my updated Dragonball Legends top 10 tier list. I usually do my Dragon Legends top 10s very early from new releases. So now we're a bit longer in the meta, which then changes my opinions for some units a bit. So that's what we're gonna do here, because I don't think there is gonna become anything significant. And if it does, I'm not gonna do a tier list. I'm gonna wait for the anniversary here. So let's start. As always, don't own every single character here on this list, and don't necessarily have them at extremely high stars. Can be at 5, can be at 10, can be at 7, very different. Except for very older units, like for example Vegeta and Nappa. But yeah, starting with the number 10, I actually have this time 2 units I'm gonna put here. For one, I have Cell still, I'm gonna leave in here. And then, as an other future unit, Xeno Trunks. I see some very useful support from Xeno Trunks on future with the healing and the support, making the team on future kind of annoying to kill, which is why I'm giving a shared spot with the Cell. And Cell, as I said the last time, not the greatest defenses, no offensive neutral, but I've seen him doing also some good stuff sometimes. But it's not enough to put him higher, especially because Vegeta and Nappa are just a better purple on every single team that he has. Unless you're running pure future, but then again, you could run Trunks, Xeno Trunks, you could still run Vegeta and Nappa as the third together with these two. So yeah, the number 10 here. Moving straight up to the number 9, I have LF Super Saiyan for Goku. By the way, this tier list shouldn't go as long because the same units most of the time, didn't change a ton. I mean, we got the LF equipment for Vegeta and the Zenka for Turtles, but we're gonna talk about that later. I might as well for you guys in as well, because they are basically together. I thought that the GT team together with Bardock is still gonna be a thing, and you can still run it, but I see this team barely, and it's not really that great necessarily. I see more Trunkses, which hurt this team by the way a lot. Rose doesn't really care because dude gets like type neutral on blues and ultimates, and it's just okay. The first time, okay, you're gonna cover rescue with this guy. And the second time and onward, bro, someone's gotta eat the damage, and it's gonna be a lot. I mean, you have Bardock's indestructible to eat it, but if you don't have that, that's gonna be a lot of damage. And I don't see a lot of like snipe potential this guy can have against anyone in the meta that's really relevant right now. Like, excluding this guy, it's just like, okay, Vegito, I guess, but that's about it. Like against Rose, you increase the sub counts, you use your cards, he's lowering sub counts every time he gets hit, he gets faster out of the lock-in from this guy, so, and he's healing, so it doesn't help. Bardock is indestructible. Vegeta and Nappa, if they're not type neutral, I guess, but they're also quite tanky. There's just no unit you can really utilize it on. By the way, and this is also a thing, Kid Buu, why he used to have the potential to be like, okay, I'm going for the lock-in, not lock-in, but the sub-count increase, and then go for the ultimate. Now, his best team with Kid Buu is this guy who has buff removal on standby as well as sub-count manipulation. So this also doesn't work, and it's just there's no unit he can really utilize his lock-in potential that he has or had against other units, like for example Namek Goku is squishier, or Vegito, or the other purple soul. That's just lowered this for me, with the team also being used less, and this automatically lowers this guy because they run together. He can sometimes stop Rose's rampage if this guy wants to build up, but that's really it. Otherwise he's doing okay, but not enough. I think other units are just better. Yeah. Moving up to the number 7 unit, I have Kid Buu. Last time I was debating about him being, I think, 4 or 5 together with Wuhan. And I was just thinking, okay, what's the best powerful opponent setup? And for me at this point it's definitely the trio of these three, which leaves Kid Buu a bit of an unnecessary purpose, because before Rosé Pop showed up, you were also not seeing Kid Buu necessarily as often. But when you saw powerful opponent, Kid Buu was always on there because he was core and powerful opponent. Like, if you were to run these three, if you rarely saw them, but every time you saw them, this was the core trio. It wasn't, oh, you could run, for example, I don't know, Piccolo instead of Kid Buu. No, Kid Buu was the stable on that team. He had a lot of good purpose against the other units, but right now he's not core on powerful opponent. That hurts him. And I think the sniping potential, again, who's he gonna really snipe? He's still good against these two, but they are not that relevant right now. I guess Vegito sometimes, I guess, he's still useful. Immunity to Bardock's cost increase is nice, but it's just he can't really kill or snipe anybody as easy as before, because more modern units with better defenses, he's gonna heal off a lot. He is indestructible. Wuhan can do very much. It's Wuhan. Like, he has some good uses still. I just think because he's just not that necessary anymore, I would say. Which is not the worst thing ever. I mean, you can still run him. I think Wuhan, Kid Buu, and Vegeta Nappa, you can still do that. I just think other setups are a bit better and more frequently used, which is why I'm gonna put him at 7. But he had a good run. I mean, dude has been meta relevant for a few months, so that's okay. I had my fun with this unit. You can still run this unit. It's not like he's like unusable. But yeah. Now, number 6, I have, and I think this is interchangeable with 5. I have Wuhan at 6 actually. Why? I do think he is still good, and I do think powerful opponent is he's core and powerful opponent. I just think out of every team that we've got thanks to Rosé, that got buffed, powerful opponent actually got hurt the most, unironically. I think Saiyans will get way better, Future got way better, and powerful opponent is the team that you could still run, but I think it's reverse in comparison. Obviously, a new blue unit is hurting Wuhan, we don't need to talk about that. But I also think the fact that if you're running, for example, Trunks and Rosé, you can use Trunks to pop his gauge to throw Rosé in, or even Vegeta and Nappa because of subcom manipulation. But also, and that's especially early game, honestly, just let Rosé eat the hits. Like, okay, he's popping a gauge, Wuhan gets triggered, he does 50%, guess what, you're healing 30% back. So, especially early game, it's really not a threat to pop Wuhan's gauges. It stops combos and destroys Dragonballs, which is still nice, but honestly, as long as you don't play such afraid of Wuhan, you're good. I mean, the ultimate is not gonna kill anybody because buff removal with Rosé. The green card can still be useful, but against Bardock, indestructible doesn't matter. Against Rosé, with normal cards, you will not get the opportunity to kill Rosé with that. Honestly, it's like really low. And against blue cards, sometimes there's still Vegeta and Nappa. Against ultimates, you have the other units. Just like, I don't feel as threatened from Wuhan, and you have the risk of getting killed if you're not careful. Like Vegeta and Nappa sometimes. Like, obviously Rosé. Like, he has now units to worry about. I don't think powerful opponent is a bad team. I just think the other teams are better. Now to the next unit, which last time was at number 9 on my list. Vegito actually for me is number 5 here. You can swap this with Wuhan. I don't think that's. I think again, I wasn't really sure who I would put where. I think, again, I said this last time, this team is really good. What bumped Vegito out for me last time significantly lower is, number one, I thought this team is still a thing that's gonna be run a lot more, which turns out not to be. And if LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku isn't anymore like in this worry list with Vegito, he gets a lot better, because this is easily his biggest threat in the game. But if you're not running against this team that often, then Vegito has to worry about Kid Buu, okay, who's also run less. Namek Goku out of the top 10, so run less. So it's really just Bardock. And while Bardock obviously has type advantage against him, he doesn't just snipe kill him. Like, these 3 yellows here all were sniping units, which makes Vegito's life miserable. Especially this guy, because he could just come in, spam cards, 80% of his health gone, but people don't run that anymore. So Vegito has a bit, definitely better survivability right now, better existence, but he's also, and that's not gonna change, he's still the Wasser Purple for this trio. Vegeta and Nappa are just better. That's how it is. So I cannot put this guy higher than 5. Either 5 or 6 doesn't make the top 4. I think the other top 4 units are just, they have a better impact role on top of that, and it's also a big thing against Vegito right now. The best teams in the game don't care much about this ultimate. I mean, obviously the top 4 units are, but let's just say you're running Bardock, Rose, Vegeta and Nappa. Vegeta and Nappa can sometimes just straight up eat the ultimate. I've lived 14-star ultimate videos at this point. Bardock is indestructible. He has buff removal, so even if you get the opportunity where you're like, okay, I could kill, he can tank it and he can tank it, endurance, buff removal, he's gonna live. So that's not working. Against Trunks, with Trunks instead of Vegeta and Nappa, similar thing. Buff removal, indestructible. Not necessarily gonna work. Against his own team, buff removal, indestructible, not gonna work. It just, the ultimate, he still does great damage, but it's not gonna kill. That's not just the reality. It's just most of the time, when I'm fighting Vegito, the ultimate is gonna do high damage, but it's not killing anybody. He has less type neutral, for example, against Bardock. That's unfortunate. And also Vegeta and Nappa have better tanking, which gives Bardock more indestructible. And Vegito is kind of frail. That's holding him back for me to put him higher. But he's, again, the setup isn't bad. It's definitely a usable team. I see this team quite a lot sometimes, but it's just not better than the other teams. So Vegito at 5, you can put it at number 6. Each one of them deserves the spot to be 5 or 6. Nothing higher for these two in my opinion. Now, number 4 and number 3 was a tough situation for me to decide. But I am going with Trunks at number 4 here and Vegeta at number 3. Now, I have seen a lot of people, especially content creators like Goresh, Zakashi, Virgil, putting this guy at number 2, which in my opinion is a bit overglazed, but I'm gonna explain you the reasons why I don't see that, by the way. Because I'm not disagreeing, because I want to be different. I have my reasons. Okay, let's just say you're running this trio, right? I think Trunks against this team is definitely shining in a top 2 position, because Sword of Hope against this team is an insane threat. Against Rose, because brother is blue, Bardock without his indestructible can get killed, so that's a thing, and Trunks himself obviously too. You have no type advantage against Trunks. Trunks is always type neutral against this team. Against that team, if you're fighting another Trunks, Trunks is an insane threat. because this dual ship is driving so much because, for one, the crazy offense, but even if you manage to kill someone, Bardock then is getting stronger and harder to kill. Trunks is the best unit to get around that, sometimes. But, and now here are the problems I see with the team. Number one, when it comes to Zenkai buffs, you can't Zenkai buff Bardock without hurting the other two, so that's a downside that exists. Number two, again, I think you're way more threatened by another Trunks unit. So that's the thing. Number three, Trunks is early game not that big of a threat. I think people forget the fact that he gets a lot of his damage, not a lot, but quite a bit of his damage, only through his full unique age. So his damage is okay, but it's not crazy in comparison to the other units at the start. And he is squishy as hell. I have him at 8 stars, bro. Rosé at equal stars goes for ultimate, bro. Trunks is almost dead. Popping his endurance. Now, if you pop his endurance and he gets his sort of warp mechanic, he can make a huge comeback. What I've experienced, and that's from me using Trunks and fighting other Trunkses, there were enough moments where I couldn't kill somebody with the Sword Hope mechanic and the other way around. Bardock, if, let's just say, you have to force him in because otherwise all your other units will die, and Bardock comes in with indestructible combos you and just stalls you to pop your own Sword of Hope against him. Pooh, wasted. What you gotta do then? Trunks is still doing high damage, but he's not doing anything crazy in comparison. I've seen my Vegeta Nappa lift the Sword of Hope mechanic, and if this doesn't kill his revival, shit, bro. It's tough. And I've seen this quite a lot against other teams or against myself. If you pop Vegeta Nappa's revival with this, I guess that's sometimes the trouble, I can admit, but I've seen it so many times, even against me, where just the Sword of Hope mechanic didn't manage to kill. Now obviously sometimes it can, and then you are like really good position, but there are situations where the Sword of Hope mechanic is not popping off. There are moments where you even sometimes get killed before you can use the Sword of Hope mechanic. That's a thing. So the biggest thing I have for Sword of Hope is kind of the inconsistency sometimes. Like, he can be looking like this number 2 unit 100%, but there are sometimes moments where it's just like he's just there, and I don't see this in Vegeta and Nappa, and I especially don't see this in Bardock. Bardock, most of the time, works like, the only time I see Bardock really not doing as much is when the Sword of Hope mechanic pops in the first. That's the only time I'm seeing that. And I also think because Sword of Hope, not Sword of Hope, but Trunks specifically is, again, squishy. Vegeta Nappa hurt him. Like, bro, one blue card, dude is on his deathbed. that's just one thing. And I think the fact that he's less bad defensively, more bad defensively, hurts Bardock, because Bardock wants partners that get hit and therefore gets more indestructible, which makes him the team harder to kill. With Trunks you have a bigger defense issue, which I think people ignore. And I think Vegeta and Nappa, thanks to their sub-count manipulation, thanks for the tankiness, being purple, which is very good against Trunks, because again, if you're not running a purple, Trunks is actually he becomes a big threat. But if you're running against, like for example, if you're running this team and you're facing this team, Trunks is having a harder time because Nappa exists. And I think this team version is more consistent in what they do, which is why I'm putting Vegeta and Nappa higher. Very good bulk, high damage. Sub-count manipulation combination with Bardock and Rosé makes this team very annoying to deal with. Like, against this trio, I don't have really the trouble of, when it comes to sub-count manipulation, my biggest worry is that Sword of Hope can just sometimes slice me up. Like, This team has I would say, a bigger killing threat, but it's easier to deal with defensively in comparison to this team, because again, this guy is way tankier than Trunks is. So yeah, not much to say about Vegeta Nappa. I talked a bit of him because of Trunks. Again, trio with Rose and Bardock is just very annoying. High damage, high sustain. His main from Vegeta, not from Vegeta, from Nappa, makes him into card destruction, which is good against Rose. And the biggest point as well, post revival, the type neutrality with the green card is very important against Bardock. Can potentially help you in, like, I don't know, 2v3 situations. So if you're like, okay, I lost my best unit against Bardock, I can still use Vegeta and Nappa. On top of the versatility this unit has with other units, it's just very great. And as well as the blue card having Endurance Null against Rose is damn good, because if you're catching Rose, for example, like half HP with a blue card, you could very much kill her. That can happen. So that's also a strong point. So yeah, moving to number 2 and number 1, that doesn't change for me. Bardock at 2, Rose at none. 1. It's a small gap. It's a really small gap. I just think Rose is a bit more versatile than Bardock is right now. Because the main team scene obviously is Bardock with these three, or with Trunks. I would say these are or with Vegito. Rose is on each one of these teams, as well as with Buhan, as well as with Kid Buu, as well as with these two. Like, he has a bit more variety. Obviously, offensively, Rose is looking better than Bardock. But that changes throughout the game. Like, Rose, especially at the start, is obviously the better unit. I'm not going to talk about that. Bardock has a bit of different role as well, but later on, as more units you use, Bardock gets obviously far more threatening. So technically you could even say this is his shared spot if you want to. I'm not gonna do that this time, but because I think Rose again slightly, but it's really just a few inches. It's really nothing. Like I wouldn't put Bardock over Rose, but I can understand them being in a shared spot. And then the last 5 units here that on here, just mainly have to talk about them because they exist. Gohan not making the top 10 for me because he has no team. Rose hurts his existence. Don't have to explain. Namek Goku, I sometimes see this guy together with Bardock and Rose. It's annoying as hell because it's just the Avery Greens. It's just annoying me to see this unit every single time. As well as, again, people not necessarily run Buhan that often, so you can get away with a double yellow blue team. If I had to order this, I would definitely put Namek Goku over Gohan right now. And then I would even... No, I wouldn't put Piccolo higher. Piccolo, homeless. I don't think... Like, unless they bring another regen character that's really working well with these two as a ranged setup, I don't see a future for Piccolo. He might be one of the most unfortunate releases this year. I don't know what they were thinking. Thales Zenkai. Obviously I don't have a Zenkai 7 because I don't gonna spend my CC that's saving for anniversary for a free-to-play Zenkai. From what I've seen from him, he's nothing crazy. He can be okay, but it's nothing crazy to talk about, so he's not making the list. But he's obviously here because he's a new buff, so I need to talk about him. This is a replacement for LF Vegeta because I couldn't find him here on my list. By the way, I moved God Vegeta out of the top 10 because whatever, he is whatever. LF Vegeta. It's not always a Vegeta unit that gets fumbled, but it's mostly Vegeta units that get fumbled, man. Like, how many Vegeta buffs did we get this year and they were all ass, including new units? Like, this is the only one Vegeta unit that I can say good this year. Not good enough. I would say mainly because this is 1% sparking. If you want to count them, not good enough. he gets a video from me at the end of the year at this point. Vegeta and Trunks, their Zenkai, not good enough. And then we have this guy, man. They didn't do enough. They didn't do enough. It just, he can do sometimes damage, bro, but it's just like, he doesn't replace Trunks in any shape or form in any team. His ultimate doesn't have endurance null, so it's not a threat unless you're maybe trying to hitting a Bardock. You're not getting much out of it. I have seen, I don't know if this video was gonna, yeah, this video is probably there at this point when I'm uploading this video here, but I used this guy on God Key with Rosé and God Vegeta. I had this one fight against a 14-star Trunks and post endurance, and it was just like, I had the green card pop, I got one strike in, I said, bro, pop the ultimate, lock it in, kill Trunks. He didn't kill Trunks. At that point I was like, okay, this is everything I need to know. He's not doing anything. Yeah, that buff was really relevant. And if they weren't new buffs, they wouldn't even be here. So yeah, this is my top 10 for before anniversary. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and see you guys in the next video.